Or we can watch
That'd be great if we
Ali's
could make
and
that
shred
happen.
his to pieces.
No, that's terrible. God.
Nerd On.
What is, everyone? Welcome to Nerd on the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, where all levels of nerd are welcome. We've got a little treat for you. We're shaking things up a bit today, y'all.
A little shake up.
In the quest to forever cover all things that give us a nerd on and fall under that sweet, sweet pop culture umbrella, we're diving into something new, Tom. Is that right?
The fuck are you talking about?
Short
Jesus
films.
We're gonna start throwing short films into the mix here and there.
We're reviewing
I'm sorry, we had a
restaurants.
3-hour meeting about it and you didn't remember.
No,
That's
you're just
fine.
like prattling on. It's like in the universe, in the waterfall of mysticism.
I was waiting for anyone to
in-
say
in the
anything. I
trees.
paused twice. When you
It's-
QC this, Tom, listen.
forest of
I
hidden,
give the floor to people twice and I go, I'm going to keep going.
forest of the hidden temple of doom.
You
got me intrigued.
I
I
was
was like-
so invested in what
Yeah.
he was going to say. I was like, wow, what
was
is
like,
it?
I'm like,
Tell me a story,
I was
Corey.
actually really interested in what you had to say.
It's-
so
Thanks for your support, everyone except
It's
Tom.
core pal Tolkien over here.
Yeah.
So yes,
We will be dipping our toes into short films, specifically one today. But before we get started, I'm Corey,
I'm Tom.
I'm Josh.
Ollie.
Caitlin.
and we are Nerd On.
Our powers combined.
This is why. I was like, why hasn't
I
Corey started
refuse to
that?
participate in that.
I was like, why doesn't Corey start it? Because he does that every time.
I do that regardless if I started or not.
No.
But yeah, we are talking about a short film called Dirty Laundry today from what's called the Bootleg Universe. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. It's a lot of fun. I learned about it from Tom, actually.
Spoilers. This
Spoilers.
is 6-year-old spoilers.
Yes.
6-year-old spoilers.
Just let
Watch
you know.
out.
Yeah.
It's hard with short films because I always think short films are harder than feature films because you have to tell a story and whatnot within, usually, they can be as long as you want them to be, as long as they're, is there like a, okay, now
Yes.
it's a short film at this length. Tell me, Tom.
Well, when I went to school and I was writing, there was 3 screenwriting classes. One for documentary, one for feature film, one for a short form.
Mm-hmm.
And our short form class, I've heard other people talk about their schools were 10 minutes. Mine were 7 minutes.
7
Whoa.
minutes. Okay.
And so it said like in 7 minutes, that's the minimum amount of time you can tell an arc.
Okay.
And so when I did like other contents like Project Greenlight, where it's like 30 seconds short, I'm like 30 fucking seconds? Are you fucking kidding me? It's
Well,
a title screen.
Like I'll give a shout out to Apple commercials. Actually, are really good at 90 seconds telling you everything you need to know about. There was one Christmas one I recall where it looks
the
like
Frankenstein one.
No. The boy who seems like he's the loner at family.
Oh,
family
yeah,
time,
he's
but
just
really what he's
recording
doing, he's
everything.
recording everything and he puts it all together in his phone and
Yeah.
shows it. Like, there's something I think that's really impressive and magical to telling that story in a short amount of
Well,
time. And if it hits, you're just like, wow, I can't believe. they were able
Also,
to pull
I
that
want to
off.
bring up Vine.
Yeah.
Vine,
sure.
some Vines that I watched were like, they could be full-length movies, and then they were, 6 seconds long? 7
Yeah,
seconds
something like
long? So-
specifically one big short film that like is Apple related as well, which was 1984.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the first big commercial.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
one that literally like had. Oh, they were gonna. I think that like sparked the like creation of like short films being in the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And so I mean, there is Academy Award nomination and slot for short films.
Yeah.
So it is a big thing, and like, not to toot my own horn, but I mean, one of the film festivals that I submitted my film to is like the Academy qualifying festival.
Whoa.
That's
so like,
sweet.
if
I
it
did not
gets
know that.
screened and officially selected, it can be a contestant in the Academy Awards.
So short
Whoa.
films are legit.
Yeah.
They are something to pay attention to, and that's what kind of brought this up. We were
Yeah.
like, wait, there's so much stuff that we should be talking about.
Absolutely.
Have you seen mine? Short
What?
film, Tom?
No.
A short film?
What?
Thanks for sharing, bro.
We should have done that first.
Wow.
Yeah. It was my fine arts thesis.
You want to have a nerd on film festival? Is that what you're saying?
I think
We
so.
should post it somewhere.
should post it
We'll talk about it after the episode.
I'm losing my mind right now.
I
This
know.
is so cool.
Man,
But specifically,
Yeah, we'll bring it back in.
we're talking about a short film called Dirty Laundry.
Like Tom said, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, pause it, Go watch it. It's online.
Come back
It's
10 minutes and
10
15
minutes.
seconds
Yeah.
later.
Something that I didn't know that Josh actually told me, or actually said on the group thread they were talking about, was like it premiered at San Diego Comic Con.
I didn't know that either.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, because I remember I was there, like ground level day one, hipster before it was cool, all this shit. Like I saw the short.
You were at San Diego.
No,
Comic?
I was just at home.
Oh,
watching.
you're just saying like you saw it day
I saw
one.
it like, oh shit, what the fuck? Because like,
yeah, when they dropped it. Yeah.
so I mean, would this be a good point to guess that Grump, or should we do a brief intro of like the entire concept?
I don't know. Yeah, we can do
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can do that. Yeah.
Which is that?
We can do the guess that Grump.
We're gonna
Guess that.
guess that Grump.
Someday we'll have like an actual theme song. To
No,
that.
that's it.
No, that's it.
That's the theme
That's
song.
it.
Let's get an air horn.
Just
At the end.
auto-tune it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just auto-tune us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to start us off? Ali, you guess first. Can't guess yourself.
Oh,
Can't guess
man.
yourself.
Well, would I want to? I am going to
'Cause
guess.
I usually want to guess myself.
I'm actually going to guess Corey.
Interesting.
Corey.
I'll go with Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna mix it up.
Dang.
I'm gonna go with Ollie.
I'm going with Ali.
Did I get a pity vote? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just
We're
mixing
not
it
gonna
up.
say yes
Mixing it
out
up.
loud.
Josh?
Who do you vote for,
But-
Josh?
Huh?
Who do you vote for?
Who do I vote for? Just to mix it up, I'm gonna say Caitlin.
There you go.
Why?
None for
We
Tom.
got two Ollies,
None
two
for Tom.
Ollies, one Corey, one Josh, one Kaylin. All right.
So stick around to the end of the episode when we reveal who's that Grump.
Let us know if you got it right.
Like, comment, subscribe for the faster answer.
And
But
if you
yeah,
haven't clicked away already,
so initial reactions or
Actually, but first,
Yeah.
we have to do some business.
Yeah,
Mr.
we
Josh.
The real quick business. This episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate all that you guys put in.
yes, you
Join the day one
specifically
fam.
You listening right now,
Yeah, you.
the person with listening to it
With
as
the
we
ears.
speak.
Yeah.
That's you
Hear
with
our
the ears
words.
and the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you like more of our stuff, get our bonus stuff on our Patreon.
You should see the hand
Oh
gestures
my
that he's
I
doing.
wish
terrible.
that I'm glad
This is
that you
all bad.
can't actually.
It looks like
Yeah.
anything that
Sorry.
it looks like Sonic when he beats a mission.
So sorry.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
you have early access
I think we
to
have control over.
to episodes. You get some bonus episodes. You get some private Discord chat.
You have like, as
Happenings.
Ollie says, we're raw. We
Going in raw.
raw.
Is that-
You get all of us.
a
thing-
quote.
It's the thing he
I guess
said
I'm done
once.
for now.
Okay.
I said it once, like,
And it never
without
made it to
realizing
an
it was being
episode.
recorded.
No, it did.
Oh, did it? Oh.
That episode.
Okay. Sometimes they'll like say things and they sound like references or quotes from things, and because I'm uncultured swine,
Yeah.
I just don't know stuff a
Just
lot.
smile. Yeah,
I always smile and nod, and I'm like, "That's yeah." I just
But isn't
know
that the
about
way
that.
they'll show me the clip
They'll
eventually.
show me it one day.
You must know that you do not know what you do not know.
So, Dirty Laundry.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's technically the Punisher. Dirty Laundry.
It's not. It's just
It's
punish.
not.
It's
Oh,
just
that's what I
called
found. Okay,
Dirty
cool.
Laundry.
when it first got
Bootleg
released,
Universe.
I think it was just titled #Dirty Laundry
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
when it first got released. And so, spoilers, it's Punisher. It's a
Yeah.
fucking Punisher short film. And so I want to lay out the landscape. So this film comes out in 2012. So the Marvel Universe is already created.
Mhm.
2008 was Iron Man. But before this had happened, we had Blade, we had X-Men, we had Ghost Rider, we had these other Marvel films that were in existence before a Marvel Universe was made.
Spider-Man.
Marvel, the comic book company, was selling off all their rights to Universal, to New Line Cinema, to all these different places. It's a Fox, specifically, and
Whoopsie.
they made some, I think, really great stuff. Like specifically Tom Jane's The Punisher, and then like I love Blade.
Yeah.
I fucking love
And
Blade.
X-Men 1 and 2 were great.
I don't remember
We
loving
don't talk
the
about
Punisher.
3.
I don't talk about one sometimes.
You don't remember?
I remember loving The Punisher.
How could you not? It was John Travolta, Thomas
That's
Jane.
why I didn't like it.
Oh,
I
I'm just
didn't-
kidding.
I love
Rebecca
Thomas
Romaine.
Jane. I loved
Ben Foster.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ben Foster fan.
Yeah.
And he's great. And as far as I'm concerned, he's been amazing in everything he's done, no matter how small the role.
Well, and funny enough, too, between the MCU getting started, between the Punisher as we know it from this short, Thomas Jane as the Punisher, in 2012, there was actually another Punisher film that came out with
A
Ray.
sequel.
Yeah,
It was a sequel of
with Ray Stevenson
Yeah.
as the Punisher.
and it was Warzone.
yeah,
It was much more supposed to be like closer to the comics in terms of like the grit and the action and stuff like that. Introduced a villain, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
And so before that, even there was Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Who was in the Punisher, and this is like
I had no
back
idea.
when who's the guy in Baywatch?
David Hasselhoff?
David Hasselhoff was Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These were the films
What?
back in the day. In the day. And
A lot of
so-
them were made for TV.
Yeah, they're just these old. And so when everyone says Marvel
There's
doesn't
an
make
old-
bad
there's an
films,
old
like
Flash.
yes, they have. They just have gone through their juvenile phases.
There's an old Flash movie too for TV. That's
That's terrible.
awful.
Like Captain America's helmet is a motorcycle
It's-
helmet.
Oh,
It's great in the sense that it's just like I saw it when I was a kid. But
It's
now
great.
that I've watched it, I was like, this is
Terrible. It's like watching
they
more.
didn't have the means.
But anyways, so going back into it, so in this universe, at this time frame, Tom Jane plays the Punisher, and it's like the first time we've seen like a serious take on Punisher. Like
Yeah.
obviously the other ones try to be serious in their time frames, but then Iron Man came out, Jon Favreau changed the game,
Yeah.
and then Christopher Nolan came out, changed the game. You know, like Christopher Nolan came first, but everyone like now there's a serious pull to make these films dramatic, and so we have Tom Jane's Punisher with John Travolta and that, and comparatively to Netflix. Like Netflix's Punisher is in the MCU, and
Yeah.
it takes place in that, and it
They
goes.
reference it. It
It's
is in there.
It's way more.
It's steeped in lore.
It's
Yeah.
way more military connected. Where Tom Jane's one is much more like around the organized crime,
Yeah.
and,
And it's a much more personal story.
yeah, and it does take from the fact of like gangsters killed his family instead of like it was a hit,
Oh,
and
okay.
so like it was just gangsters killing his family, and like he got in the cross section of like gang wars,
Oh.
and so it was really that was really cool, and so kind of leads us up to at this point where Josh said like Ray Stevenson played the Punisher and took Tom Jane's role and was like, oh, but I like Tom Jane.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
remember when I watched it, this is my initial reaction. I was like, fucking 2012, and I was like, fuck, this looks really cool. Like I wish Tom Jane was Punisher again. I wish Tom Jane was not knowing at the very fucking end the shirt that he gives the boy is the Punisher shirt. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, why don't we just have this already? Like,
Yeah.
shit.
Let me ask you this though, just because you told me to like we watched this, but I watched it without like any context,
Yeah.
and I am not a fan of Punisher,
Mhm.
and I haven't followed like the movies. Where was it? Like where was Punisher cinema wise? Like in the like at that time, was it like
In
was it something that
2012?
people had given up on because
Yeah,
they had a
because-
sequel that had not the same star?
in
or,
all
like,
in all actuality, so like if you were, I remember this specifically. You know how the beginning of every Marvel movie has like the little comic book pages and all says Marvel
Yeah.
Studios. This was part of Marvel Knights, and so like this was like their own take on trying to make a universe or something like that. And so at this point, yeah,
The last Punisher Warzone came out in 2008. It wasn't Tom Jane, so people were upset. And it only got a 27% on Rotten
On that show
Tomatoes.
that I-
2 out of 4.
was there a reason that it wasn't Thomas Jane?
I don't know why it wasn't Thomas Jane. I think at the point he was also doing the Stars show with Stephen
yeah,
Amell
yeah.
called Hung,
Yeah.
Oh.
where they were male prostitutes.
Yeah.
But like
Got it.
Tom Jane, as you can see, like is willing to reprise this role, and
Yeah.
there was huge fan like backlash with Ray Stevenson, like being Ray Stevenson plays he's a good actor. He's one of the Warriors 3 in Thor. He's the guy with the gut.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who ends up becoming another Thor. Anyways, but like it was just different. It was a stylized take on it, and it was much in the light in terms of how it was shot. Because the way that Punisher was shot at the John Travolta Tom Jane one was very like gritty. Like
Yeah.
it just felt like a crime movie, like a early 2000s crime movie.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a superhero movie at all, and which I liked. I praised the older superhero movies for doing that.
I barely remember.
But then this one was like, it felt like it was supposed to be like a superhero movie.
okay.
Yeah.
And so it got this weird backlash and all that stuff. I watched it. the
Yeah.
fucking opening night. But then I remember I was like, I miss Tom Jane.
Yeah.
And so when I saw this, I loved it.
So like I'll to kind of like Ollie's point, like the Punisher movie with Tom Jane was fun, but it wasn't something I walked around. Like John Travolta's performance really bugged me in it. I don't know why. Him being in it for me took away from that dark gritty universe because I'm like, oh, it's fucking Michael. It's like
Really?
do you know what I mean? It's like
Same here.
it's for me that really took me out of it. Having said that, I loved, like I said, Ben Foster. I love Tom Jane and his Punisher. I thought he
Ben
embodied
Romaine.
that character. I thought the Russian fight was one of the at the time one of the better hand-to-hand combat
opera
fights
playing in
I've
the
seen.
background.
Yeah,
Oh.
Or
it's so cinematically
guy
gorgeous.
who,
I didn't even realize that I had seen that movie until you just said that.
yeah,
and then Harry Heck, who's
there's
in the
this
diner.
point in that film
Oh.
where he's fighting this like 8
Giant
foot tall
Russian.
giant Russian guy.
John
and
Travolta
he's-
literally says, "Call the Russian."
Tom Jane stabs him with a knife. The dude takes out of his chest, turns around, and pushes
Stabs
it
it
into
back
him.
into
And
Tom
I'm just
Jane.
like,
No,
what the fuck is happening?
one great thing is like Tom Jane has built this entire
It was
apartment
great.
complex to like be a trap for him, like Home Alone shit for this Russian guy. And he jumps in this like room and he gets his grenade, throws it out the window, and the Russian bats it back into that room.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hardy's like, shit.
It was
just
great.
jumps out.
But like, so for the movie, for me, wasn't great. But yes, I was someone after the film who was like, if they made another with Tom Jane, I would see it. And,
so
it's
you're-
probably the reason I didn't see Warzone.
And
I
your
feel like I need
reaction
to
of
watch
this
it
short.
again because I don't remember any of what you guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Because
So
the-
your reaction of this short.
Okay, so Tom is the one who showed it to me. We
Yeah, I
were
did.
on break together, and he just slides his phone over and he goes, "Watch this." No context whatsoever. And I see Tom Jane, and of course I make the joke, and I was like, "Oh, Punisher," and he's
Yeah.
like, "Mm-hmm." And it's really gritty, it's dark, and like at this time, Tom and I were creating our own short films and series and stuff like this. So I thought he was showing it to me as some sort of thesis, and I was like, I'll study the best I can." And then slowly I start going like, "Man, I really."
The light bulb is starting to fill up.
Not even like subconscious.
Well, the
it
pants
must
are
have
getting
been,
tighter.
Oh, okay.
It must have been subconscious because I kept saying to him, I was like, "This just makes me want another Punisher." And he's like, "Yeah, man." And then Ron Perlman shows up, and I was like, "I fucking love Ron Perlman! Like, what a great surprise!" And I was like, "Man, he would be great in a Punisher movie." And then he has this line, like he gets the jack and he starts beating shit up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is happening right now?" And that's when the light bulb starts going. Wait a second.
Oh.
He's punishing them. And then he has this line where he,
You want to know the difference between justice and punishment?
oh man, and that's when it clicked for me. And I went, "Oh shit, is this the Punisher?" And Tom just goes, "Watch, just watch." And he gives the kid the shirt, and I lost my shit. I loved it so much, and all it did was make me want a goddamn Punisher with Tom
Yep.
Jane.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, like, Tom Jane's not this bulking, hulking dude like Frank Castle like has been shown to be.
Yeah.
No.
He's like kind of small in frame, but like the way that he kind of presents Frank Castle is like very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, he is kind of like this fucking bumbling dude.
And
Even though he's a badass, I'd call him the sensitive type.
yeah.
Punisher.
He is really. I mean, but like all it made me want is like because like the first Punisher, and I don't know about Warzone, but they did kind of shy a little more away from like let's get grounded with this.
Yeah.
Right. We were still in that like original X-Men film where everything's kind of a little heightened and people can jump 20 feet and like it was nice to see the Punisher just
Well, he was this like everyday dude who's
Yeah.
just like, I'm shooting up things and I'm taking the trash out of this city, out of
Yeah.
Miami.
well, it was just more so the grounded fights and stuff like that, choreographed fights I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And that like to me, my dad introduced me to comics young, and Punisher was one I wasn't allowed to read until I was a little older. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like for me, it's always had that air to it. So to see it play out, I was like, this is why my dad wouldn't let me read it. Like,
Yeah.
this is exactly
It
why.
makes a lot of sense now.
So that was I had a lot of fun.
Caitlin, your initial
Um,
reaction of the short?
Now that I realized that I did watch that Punisher movie with the Russian, it makes sense because when I was watching the short film, I was like, oh yeah, because his family was killed and he wants to punish them. Why do I know this?
Why do I know this?
You're a learning computer. You're just
Yeah.
referring.
But it made me really uncomfortable, and I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'll say for now.
For me, it was like, I was impressed. I was like, good for this director for getting Thomas Jane and getting it to be a Punisher thing. But that's me going into it, knowing that it's a Punisher thing. But to me, it was like, I feel like nothing happened in it. And I was like, I don't even know, is this like before he's a Punisher? Is this after? Has he been retired for a while? They call him Old Man.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was kind of like,
Someone in the same
like I
boat as
wasn't
Caitlin.
I wasn't like super impressed by like the filmmaking
Mhm.
necessarily.
Mm.
And then I was just kind of like, okay, you know, like I don't really care.
Mhm.
Is that bad? Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, at the
You
end
know?
of it, in the end of it, you're kind of like, who cares?
Yeah,
Something
I was like,
happened
I was
and
like,
that's
who
it.
cares? Because I don't remember enjoying the first Punisher movie, and Thomas Jane seems like a cool guy, and I'd like to see another Punisher movie that's maybe better. But
Yeah.
but I didn't need it. It didn't give me any kind of emotional reaction. I just kind of like, okay, I was like, okay, I'm done.
It was the
I'm,
thing.
I'm done with my break. I'm gonna go back to work. Like I was like, that's literally what happened today. And
Well, and you have said that you weren't like super into the Punisher anyway, right?
right, yeah,
So-
and yeah, like I haven't seen I saw the first like couple episodes of the Netflix series, and
Yeah. So it was one of those
Um,
things where you had no investment.
I enjoyed it. And part of it, I think, is because I'm not a big fan of the Punisher character,
Oh.
because I don't agree with it. And it's like, I know part of it is like,
You're not supposed to.
I'm not supposed to, and I'm supposed to like, have that moral quandary. But that's exactly why I really liked Daredevil season 2. It's because
the Punisher.
he challenged him right there on screen.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting to me because it was actually talked about,
Yeah.
like as a topic of conversation, as opposed to kind of like something that just is there for you as a person to kind of think about.
The moral dilemma with the Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end with the lighter, I'm like, no, she's going to go to jail because of that. And she's going to have fucking like 5 to 10 or whatever the hell. Like,
But will
Yeah.
they?
I
In
mean-
a place that's not really
that's
policed at all.
Where I'm like, I don't like it doesn't hit me in the emotional way that it's supposed to, I guess.
Right.
See, for me, it did. I kind of, in my mind, compared that area in that Marvel universe to Crime Alley, where anything can fucking happen.
Well, people just disappear.
People can get killed, and
People look
and
the
they
other
go,
way.
well, yeah, they're dead.
I'm not gonna try to
Yeah.
persuade you to see it a different way. I'm gonna just try to give you the idea of how I saw it.
I want it, yeah.
Well,
I want
no.
that.
Well,
But
to me,
that was my.
to me,
Because I
like,
don't have
what-
any of the context of the stuff that you talked about leading up to it, where like
Right.
well,
where
like,
there
you
had
had
been.
none of
I
the
didn't even know.
excitement
I
or-
didn't even know there was another Punisher. This is what I thought. I thought there was 2 Punisher movies with Thomas Jane, and the second one went like directly to DVD or something, and then that was it. Like I didn't know there was a second actor. I didn't know.
I'll give you like this. I loved the first one so much, and then when they changed it to Ray Stevenson, and then like they came with a short film. Think of it like this: as if there was a fucking random short film that starred Hugh Jackman, and then I don't know, he's in a fucking brawl house, and he's just beating people up, and then a blade comes out.
All the
No, I
claws
think
come
I
out.
think a more accurate one would be if we saw a short film starring Christian Bale,
That's Batman.
and then it's a fucking Batman short.
Yeah, right.
See,
That
something
would
like that,
be-
you know what I mean? Like where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you know it's end and it's finally over, and you're
Right.
like, oh, I can't have it, but then they give it to you a little
Yeah,
bit.
Well,
so
yeah.
I
And-
get that sentiment. Now,
Also, a real world example is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that little clip that was leaked,
leaked.
Yeah.
Not leaked by Ryan Reynolds.
not leaked
For
by
sure.
Ryan Reynolds
Never.
at all.
Fuck Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds,
But
apparently.
if that wasn't leaked, if that little short was not released, Deadpool wouldn't have probably happened at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these short films play into a larger
Right,
picture
yeah.
as well. So and because you don't necessarily care about all the things framing that picture, that is going to influence it as well.
It is. Yeah.
So, Josh, your initial reactions?
Oh, can I? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
No more, you're done.
The thing that heavily swayed my initial reaction was when I recognized the most iconic piece of music from my 4th favorite
Oh,
film of
yeah.
all time,
Oh yeah.
The Dark
Oh.
Knight.
Dark Knight.
Uh-huh.
Why So Serious? The track started playing, and I'm like, at first, because I was listening to it, and that track started playing, and I immediately paused it before like he even wakes up in the van.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like, is this the right
Because it
link?
went dum dum.
I was like, is this the right link? I think this is like, because you know how kids on YouTube
Some random
like
fan edit.
will re-edit
Yeah.
something with
Yeah.
some like
Random
music that
music.
does not belong.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought it was, and then I was like confused, and I was like, no, I think this is the wrong one. And then I looked in the credits, and they licensed that music from WB. I don't think it belonged in that movie at all. It kept me so far out of it that I just could not. Like every time I heard a music cue come in from that, I was like, this is weird. I can't like follow this. What's happening right now? Because I'm just
Interesting.
like, where's the Joker going to come out of?
oh,
Yes, Josh.
Well, I was gonna say it's like 2 things because we come at this with you previously. I've already said that, and what I already knew is that it was cheaper for them to license that song
I'm sure. Yeah.
than to hire a composer to full on score it.
Right.
I get that,
Even
yeah.
for just a 10-minute film.
right.
And I think that it's also, here's the thing, you just said it's one of your top
Yeah.
films. It's
So
top,
for me
it's number
personally,
4.
it's like,
it's what we have called baggage. You
Yeah.
come at it and
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, who the fuck do you think you are that you're gonna use this
Yeah.
song from this? No.
Hans Zimmer wrote this for the Joker.
Yeah. How dare you?
I do want to have.
So that was a
Let
huge
Josh finish his
influence.
point.
So I just wanted to get that in because that played a huge part into my.
But
enjoyment.
what I was saying is I can see where you're coming from, where you're like, but wait a minute. But at that time, well, I mean, you can't say at that time because I'm not saying that you're the only Batman fan ever. Like there's probably some people going, hey, wait, that's that one song.
that might have been the year that it came out.
2012. Yeah.
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 Initial reactions for me?
Yes.
I loved it. The reason being is I have always been, I don't know why, incredibly interested in the Punisher character.
When was the first time you watched it? If you don't mind.
Really?
The short.
The short, pretty much the day that it came out.
Okay,
'Cause
so
a buddy and
we
me-
were there together.
Yeah, in spirit, we were there.
Yeah.
A buddy and a buddy of mine, we were talking about Thomas Jane as the Punisher, and this just happened to happen. Yes. And to me, it's kind of like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool. He, to me, you always wanted to see Ryan Reynolds have a legit chance at playing Deadpool for real. For me, Thomas Jane is that for the Punisher. And I know that like the sad thing is we're never going to get another Punisher movie with Thomas Jane because Netflix now has it.
I mean, if Marvel gets bought by DC and then they just randomly make random origin movies for no reason, who knows?
Yeah. So Thomas Jane
could happen.
Yeah. So
does it imply that there's ever a universe where DC could purchase Marvel?
Yeah.
It happened. Almost happened. Marvel almost bought DC.
Yeah, but now.
Who knows?
It never happened.
Who fucking knows?
You'd have to buy
DC is
Disney.
literally now
Also,
like
I don't want DC coming anywhere near
DC is
Marvel
literally like
films.
bootlegging all of
They
the
have
Marvel characters now.
Giving me no faith in their ability to handle superheroes.
That's fair.
Especially Wonder Woman.
So yeah, I loved it.
Corey?
Yes.
The original
Sorry,
film
one
with,
of 7.
Josh.
the original film with Thomas Jane, I loved it. It was cheeseball, and to me, I don't think just because a movie is cheeseball makes it a bad movie. It is what it is. It is what it is. You go to it and you're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
It did what its purpose was. It wasn't meaning to change my life.
I'm entertained.
It was meant to entertain you and let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And so
Again,
John
it's the same
Travolta.
time as like first X-Men, where one of the biggest laughs is Wolverine flipping Cyclops off.
Yeah.
With it. Like it's got that little like, haha,
yeah,
Especially the part where Halle Berry tells that joke that
we're
got
having
cut out.
fun. We're having fun.
yeah.
We're superheroes.
We're having fun. And Thomas Jane's take on the Punisher is much more. He's like I said, he's kind of the sensitive type. Whereas Ray Stevenson, when he came in, he was like, listen, I don't want people to be I want people to walk away going, I don't ever want to be the Punisher, but I'm so glad that he's there. Like Ray Stevenson was much more violent, much more hardcore. Whereas I like Thomas Jane because he's collected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's calm. And he's like, I am going to fuck your world up, but I'm going to be calm about it.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
But also, like, I loved like the little moments that he had back in his apartment where he was like reminiscing about his wife and kids.
Yeah.
And like he literally had to have a gun to his head.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, this fucking.
Yeah.
goes-
Like it's not a choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't a choice in the Tom Jane movie. Like he had to do it.
Yeah. So for this, it was nice to see. At the time, my understanding of it, we didn't know what this was. This was just kind of like a random film.
Yeah.
It just
It was
came
just-
out. It was when YouTube just started popping out random shit. You
we
didn't know
thought
what the
that it
fuck
was.
to expect.
Some people thought, oh man, they were speculating that this was kind of like a trailer for
a proof
a
of
new
concept
one,
or something.
proof of concept. And we were like all excited, but nothing happened of it. But we were like, this is fucking sweet. I love this as it is.
It's the same guy who did the Power Rangers short film a few
Oh, yeah,
years
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
That was like hyper realistic with like
Yeah.
James Van Der Beek and stuff like this. So this guy with his bootleg universe like loves, and I really love the fact that he's doing it because so far that and the Power Ranger one
He also did one of
loved.
like Mr. Rogers as like a war hero.
I haven't seen that one yet, but
And
I saw
then,
that on
like,
there.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, I mean, this is basically a love letter to Punisher, is what the
it's his nerd
director
on.
have said. This is a love letter. Same for Thomas Jane. He loves the Punisher as well, and they were just like, let's just make something fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to.
But how'd they get Ron Perlman though?
because Ron Perlman loves characters too.
Because Ron Perlman is a nice guy.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard.
true.
Ron Perlman said he was willing to do Hellboy even though he was pushing 70.
Yeah. We don't want to get into that though.
How old is Ron Perlman?
70.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He looks great.
Yeah. He's
He
like
looks
72
fantastic.
now.
I don't know why, but that makes me feel old.
Yeah.
I do want to say one real quick
know
thing
why.
about Ollie's point about the music.
Yeah.
It's a random tangent, but I remember when I went to Thailand, I was watching a fucking drama, and then the Batman Begins theme was in there, like dun dun dun, and it was about just a yellow Corvette driving to a mansion, and I was like, it had the same effect. So I get when it's like you get so shell shocked when you hear something else from where it's like you shouldn't belong, but it's like, oh, you know what? There's a point where it's like, just gotta just be okay with it.
Well, and also, if he's also not into it, and it also took something
Yeah.
from a thing that he really loved, I can get why he'd be like, "Fuck this."
Well, honestly, you know what? I wonder if I would have had a different reaction if you had told me, oh yeah, by the way, they licensed music from the Dark Knight, so when you watch it, you're gonna hear that music.
I don't know.
Interesting.
okay.
If you had told me that, I wonder if I would have.
I don't feel like I should give you any padding.
Because I immediately thought it was some like crappy like kid doing a YouTube edit. So that I had that. That was my first impression.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But it
Definitely.
would have gotten taken down by then.
What?
It would have gotten taken down by now. But anyways,
True.
I don't know.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But I understand. Like, if that would have shifted your perspective of how you viewed it, because it's like, oh, this is supposed to be here,
Right.
not just
Right,
like
right.
Yeah.
wildly
Wouldn't have been
out
so
of
jarring.
place.
Yeah.
So now we'll get into favorite parts.
Yeah,
Favorite
I think so.
parts?
Favorite
Sure.
Great.
So, I mean, it's short. It's a 10-minute
Yeah,
film,
it's
right?
incredibly short.
And the thing about 10-minute films or like short films, like you try to play the 3-act structure within that time frame, so it's like it feels very compact. I think my favorite sequence, I mean, it's probably the time where he's in the laundromat room, and then like the first sign that you get, like, oh shit, this is a fucking Punisher film. He pulls out his quarters, and you see one of the gun
Little
shells. I was like,
Yeah.
because I just remember that feeling of like little fucking Tom Boner. Like, I miss that. Oh my god, it's happening! And
Yeah.
then like he goes into a fucking convenience store and talks to Ron Perlman. So
Yeah.
like the middle sequences were my favorite part. Like I don't have to have a bunch of violence in my films. Like I don't need it. And like Christopher Nolan's actually pretty good about blanketing it. But like this one had a lot of gore in it. But like that wasn't my favorite parts.
Yeah. For me, I mean the Jack Daniels bottle fight is badass as shit. But
Fair.
there's this piece of editing where they ramp up. He's in there and he's trying to ignore it the best he can.
Yeah.
And the cuts keep getting quicker and quicker and louder and louder. And that claw machine is moving and dropping things, and his laundry's going, and he finally just stands up and walks out. And I believe that's when he goes across the street to Ron Perlman's. But right as he's trying to ignore it, something about that editing really affected me emotionally. I got really stressed. I found I was like tapping my feet the first time I watched, even this last time I watched it again before I came here.
Yeah.
And during that part, I was like shaking my feet and tapping the table. And like, I got really anxious myself. So I thought that was a great bit of editing and storytelling there, because it made me feel exactly how he was feeling.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up that point too, so dang it.
Ditto.
I like the movie.
I like the movie.
We'll talk about, you could talk about it as well. Expand on your own experience with it.
I mean, you pretty much buttoned it up too nicely for me to add anything. But I will say that the leading into that, when he's hearing all the screaming and everything, and you're seeing his perspective, I noticed that the vignette, the little darkness around the outside of the everything was really tight, and everything that you were seeing from his perspective was only very in focus, like at a pinpoint aspect.
Interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And so I thought it was interesting that he's trying to block out everything but exactly what he needs to focus on at that time. And then it kind of, expands a little more.
Yeah.
Showing he's incredibly focused.
Incredibly focused.
That's cool.
So the ramping up thing I really liked. I really liked that he bought a Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they had lots of little things in there, like the quarter, I feel like was him dropping the quarter, and then like, and this could totally just be me, but it seemed like he was like choosing heads or tails, do I go out or not?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Duality.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they dropped a lot of really nice little symbolism things in there that I really appreciated. So there was a lot that I liked.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do for a short film, but also these are the kind of languages that get like muted in in mainstream films, which is like, that's why like I have such a heart for like short films, because they speak in that language because they know they have to tell more of a story with a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And so instead of like a fucking 5-minute conversation with someone, I was like, the duality, am I the Punisher? Am I Frank Castle anymore?
You don't have the time to tell someone, so you have to show them
He just
quickly.
looks at the coin, just like how Dark Knight does.
And what else? And I also really like when the woman who got raped sets the guy on fire,
Yeah.
because
You love when people get their comeuppance.
Yeah, I like those comeuppance moments.
I did like that he was like, I'm gonna leave it up to
Her. She can
well, not
leave
even
you.
her. It's just the area you've been terrorizing for so long.
Yeah.
Let's see how your actions help you now.
Yeah.
Like, there was something very, like you said, it's not justice, but it's let the area that you've punished for so long punish you. It's karma, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the Punisher
Like
is
they
kind
can
of
just
about.
leave you maimed,
Yeah.
but they can also kill you too, and that's
Yeah.
not,
Because you're covered in alcohol,
Mhm.
yep,
which is flammable.
pretty flammable.
It's been known to be
It could be, especially.
Jolly.
jolly.
Maybe not so jolly
Wrong
today.
person.
No, I like the kind of lead up to the fight where he's like, It's like $1.50 for the Yoo-hoo, puts down the 20.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll take a bottle of Jack.
After saying he's sober for
That-
6
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Being sober for 6 years.
that was a cool moment.
And then just knowing exactly, like as soon as he starts walking out and he's like slowly taking it out, like I knew exactly what he was going to do with it.
Yep.
I
So that's pretty
actually
cool.
did not, because I don't know much about like what a bottle of Jack means. I was like, oh, is he like gonna take a drink because it's upsetting to him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Little do you
How
know.
sweet are you?
I didn't know that a bottle of Jack can be used to like
It's a
bludgeon
weapon of mass
someone. It's
destruction.
like good to
Yeah.
know now
Yeah, right?
for
Yeah.
future parties. but-
Party trick.
you go.
Party trick.
Yeah.
Ollie.
But I did really also enjoy the quick cuts in the edit for him trying to drown out
It was
everything
really,
else happening.
really well done. The audio.
Was like, okay, he's
Makes
trying to like
Mhm.
go about like ignoring this. So I'm like, maybe it's post retirement or something like that.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was
he's trying
thinking.
to not get pulled back in.
Did you get the vibe that like, and maybe this again, like you said, me reading too far into this, but during that quick cut, and I'll ask this to the whole group,
Mhm.
did you get the, for me, the things that they keep cutting to are little sounds that usually would annoy me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
100%.
we're kind of like, he's reading his magazine, drowning out the sounds of like the jeans hitting the side of the washer, this claw machine, like, and none of them are like pleasant sounds that
Yeah.
are all being
Some would say
ignored.
it's a cacophony.
I would say that. And so like his stress about, and this is how I get stressed out and other things bother you, right? So like his
Yeah.
stress about what's going on outside suddenly makes the laundromat not a place he can be anymore because he's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
no, I
I
can't
think
take
he's
any of
trying
this shit.
to focus on other things.
Yeah.
And realizing those other things are really annoying and
Oh, yeah.
terrible to listen to.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, this isn't going to work.
I like that.
I'm getting up.
Flip side. I dig it.
Yeah.
Joshua.
See, it's hard with a 10-minute thing because I can be like, oh, I love that. I love that. I like all the little nods, like the bullet casing in his pocket,
The hole in
when
the
he
shirt.
finds the hole in the shirt.
Oh yeah.
When he gives it to the kid and he's like, oh, there's a hole in it anyway. And the reveal just made me,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
my nerd on.
Took me way immediately out of it.
Oh, really?
But go on.
I loved when Ron Perlman's character is like, oh, rum is blah, blah, blah. And he puts the
Oh,
yoo
he
down
says,
and he's like,
vodka.
or vodka.
Yeah.
There's a special today for Ron.
Do
Oh.
you,
Okay.
do you and vodka mix?
I got to
You
thinking that.
probably
and I
have to
was
ask
like,
the dude because he
Yeah.
probably would know.
The dude would know. Yeah.
I just got that as he's trying to appeal to whoever this guy is, and he didn't
Yeah.
react to rum, so let's
So he's
try
like,
vodka.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly where it was.
Yeah.
Exactly
Oh,
what that
Or
was.
vodka, like what's pick your poison.
Whatever you want, I'll give you a special on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really, I mean, the sound design, as you mentioned, really was a big one for me too. Because I think when this came out, I was just starting audio school too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, they are calling out. And I love that. The thing that I love about this short film is I don't need a big show every time.
Right.
Yes, this was kind of big at some with the fight,
Yeah.
but it's like he's just trying to do his fucking laundry.
Yeah.
And he still has to do laundry.
It's that call to action.
And,
Yeah.
and it's like he's doing his laundry and all right, well, I've got to do this now.
And he's doing it at a coin operated laundromat.
Just like how Doctor Strange wanted a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the thing I bring up every time.
I did like the symbol reveal, and it kind of made me think like, because I had approached this that he's trying to like, maybe he's got his revenge already on whoever it was, his
Wash
Yeah.
his
like,
hands.
and he's
of the
trying to back
situation.
out of it, and he's really trying not to anymore. So that passing the shirt to that kid is that like, hey, it's gonna be all right. Like there's a symbol of hope, right? And it's like Batman. Obviously, Batman covers it really well, where it's like it's important. The symbol's important, right? So
Yeah.
that kid knows that like. What's your face, Tom?
So I have like a weird.
You could wait till I finish
Yeah.
a point before you start arguing it with your face next time.
I'm just kind of like, So I mean, okay. To Corey's point of like the symbol
But I
and
didn't
being the
finish.
symbol of hope. Okay, then finish.
No, I'm good now.
Then don't stop and say like, oh, let me finish. But I think because so with Punisher, with me in terms of how I see it in Marvel, like everyone says like it's the Batman of Marvel. And I'm like, no,
It's not.
completely not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's the only reason it's Batman of Marvel is because it's a human. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
But to me,
He doesn't have powers.
Punisher is not
That's
a
fair.
symbol of hope. Punisher is a symbol of fear for criminals, but not even like good Samaritans be like, oh, we have the Punisher. Like no one wants the Punisher. It's like if you have the Punisher in your neighborhood, it's like our neighborhood sucks.
Now, see what I got from that kid is that like he saw this normal dude stand up for himself and like take care of shit, and he didn't play victim, and he's just a normal guy, And then he got this shirt and opens it. It's the Punisher. And that I feel like that would give that kid who's in this hard area, who obviously no one gives a shit if someone's raped or killed or burnt on fire, right? It's got to give him this like, well, if that normal guy can be the Punisher, I can take care of myself too.
I think it's not like a bad thing. It's more like my version of it's more like, okay, cool. Like I don't have to worry too much because I know the Punisher's around. Like the Punisher is going to kill all the bad guys because the Punisher doesn't take prisoners.
Yeah.
Punisher doesn't interrogate people without killing them. Like there's just
really?
blood everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He kills everything. And like, I mean, in the best parts of, or most memorable parts of memorable parts of Punisher, like there's like parts where like there's wars happening and then like villains join and he like shoots them down. He's like, there's still villains at the end. And it's like, they're on our side.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Whoa.
nope, not on my side. At the end of the
Wow.
day, when the war's over, they're going to be dead.
Just like his
So-
symbol, it's very black and white for him.
And so like, and that's
Whoa.
the thing about him, like him, but the thing is he has the utmost respect for Captain America. So I mean like, God, to have them together. But,
Are you talking about fan fiction right now?
no, I'm talking about like comic books.
Yeah.
Like the source material. But I yeah. So I mean, I think for the kid to have that point where it's like he's not like this gristle dude. It's like get out of my way, kid. But he does have that moment
Yeah.
of like closure for the child.
Right.
So it is nice, but I didn't see it as like a dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, I just saw it as like it doesn't take a god to stand up for yourself.
Well,
He's a
the-
dude doing laundry.
I think that's like what the big Marvel Knights has a big thing for it, where it's like you don't have to have Captain America, Spider-Man, or Iron Man saving you. It's the fucking Punisher.
Yeah.
It's a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I've read, because I've been kind of interested in the Punisher, I've read some of the comics, and when you look at Thomas Jane's portrayal of the character, you're kind of like part of, and I don't know, Tom might know this a little bit more about kind
I
of
do
the
know.
comic book community and their reaction to
Okay.
Thomas Jane's portrayal, but it's like, for me, slightly an uncultured swine. I am with some things. But with this,
Corey.
I'd like to know more. But he seems like he's such a, like I've said, the sensitive type. He's a little bit drawn back. He's precisely violent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's like,
He's methodically violent.
yeah, he's methodically
it's almost
violent.
like murder.
It's not spray and pray. It's like, I got you.
It's like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Calculated, methodical violence. I mean, when he's on a target, it's a warpath. And
Yeah.
that's his thing. It's like, it's war all the time, but it's very specific. And he's very big on like, no unnecessary casualties. But he knows that there are casualties of war. One thing I did forget to say, one of my, a part that I did like how he was wearing a New York hat.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, he's in Miami. And then he leaves trying to make sure that like the Ben Foster character, Rebecca Romaine, like get away from like his violent world.
Mm-hmm.
So he like leaves to New York because, you know, Marvel Universe says New York needs 12,000 superheroes in it. Not
Fair.
spread
'Cause
around
that
the
makes
fucking
sense.
world.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah.
make sense.
But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and so watching it the second time,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so he's in New York now. Oh, he's living his van because that's where he fucking operates out of his van. Oh, I'm all about it.
So you liked it.
Oh, to me, it's the Punisher sequel that we should have got.
That we deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just needed like 190
No, that we needed,
Like-
not deserved.
more
That's
minutes
true.
of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
so
now Kwame.
but we do have
qualms,
qualms. I do have
DJ,
qualms for it.
DJ Kwame qualms.
Turn on that qualms.
Comic
Spin that
qualms.
track.
Josh.
oh wow.
I know.
I don't ever get to
First
start.
up.
I'm doing it because
No.
I love you.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Honor.
I again, it's hard to find qualms with something so short, but is a Jack Daniels bottle really that hard?
Yeah.
Corey told a story earlier. Tell
I
it
did
again.
tell
Yeah,
a story
tell me
about
a
this.
story.
So I,
Nutshell.
nutshell, was at a party that a brawl started at
Oh,
because
geez.
someone was breaking someone's plates in a house and just coming out the backyard and smashing plates. Word up to Santa Rosa. What up?
Shout out.
And one thing led to another. A lot of drunk people. A brawl broke out, like a 15-on-15 person brawl. And
Roadhouse.
someone threw a Jack Daniels bottle and the corner hit another person in the head. The bottle didn't break, but it did require him to get 27 stitches in his head. So yeah, they're
hard.
and that's empty. That was empty.
Yeah.
So a full
So imagine
bottle
a full
would be
one.
a
Yeah.
lot.
That's some
They're not
thick
great.
glass. I'll think about it while everybody talks. I mean, but that was the only thing while I was watching it today. I watched it a couple of times today. I was like,
Is Jack-
yeah, that's pretty much is
What?
that real? And that's it. Like
That's fair.
it's 10 minutes. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
I
so
like
no.
the movie.
You
I
just-
like the movie.
I have
Do we
qualms.
have the trust stick? Here, I'll give you
I
the
have
trust stick.
I have qualms.
The
Yeah.
qualm
So
stick.
the one that you specifically pointed out, Caitlin, about how it was like vignetted, I did not like the aesthetic for that. So I mean, I understood it and I got it. It's kind of like when, like before, like the Hangover movie, when they would show drunk people, they would do a bunch of like gorilla hand cam,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
like makes you want to
Movement.
throw up shit. But then now after the Hangover, they just like have the camera like on you and then it follows you around. But this was like, okay, I get what you're doing, I get it. But I was like, when you have it all vignetted, especially with the opening song, it felt very like low budget. And I'm like, it's not supposed to feel high budget. And I'm cool with that. But I was just like, there's other ways. Maybe
I mean,
you could
I
do
agree
that.
that it was excessive.
I mean, the thing again, this is the director's style. So I mean,
Right.
I'm not gonna be like, you should have done it like this. But like, it's like I
It
just
just didn't work for you.
I
just
agree with
didn't
you,
prefer
and I
it.
think that's kind of the cornerstone of mine.
because
as
to
well.
me it felt like when you watch, and I mean it's funny, it's a bootleg universe, right? It felt like when you're watching a bootleg movie and you're in a theater and you don't get the edges of a thing. I mean, I've never watched bootleg movies ever.
Not the vignette, the fact that it felt like a
That it felt
low budget when there's ways to make it not look low budget.
So I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but for me it was specifically that sequence that I was like, I'm not cool with that. But the angles they utilized, you know, like the shots that they utilized later on were fine. But just that vignetting at the beginning, I was like, I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But everything else I loved. So,
yeah.
but
I mean,
if they
even,
used like the original Punisher theme or something else,
They
that
could have got it.
that could have been cool. Because his theme is much more like sounds like U.S. American patriotic.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like, oh, that could have been cool. They had it, but I
Yeah.
guess not.
I mean, even what's his name? John
Bernthal.
watched Dirty Laundry to inspire his character
Oh yeah.
for
And
Netflix.
and so
Oh.
I guess answer a little bit your question, Josh, of like what's the fan community of like how do they see Tom
Comic
Jane?
book, yeah.
For the longest time, Tom Jane was Punisher. Everyone just forgot about Ray Stevenson. It's kind of
Nice.
like Edward Norton, or it's like Mark Ruffalo, Edward Norton, and then no one talks about Eric Bana. Like that's just everyone just loved to forget about that. But like
I wish I could.
John Bernthal right now is like, you know, everyone like loves him because he took a very, very militaristic like
Yeah,
approach
he
to
did.
it.
Yeah.
And so it's much more PTSD driven instead of like vengeful. So this is to me, I still prefer Tom Jane. I loved the John Bernthal Punisher show, but I would have loved a Tom Jane movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Ollie.
Ali.
So I mean, I've already gone over a few of mine, but to your point, I think not to like beat a dead horse or whatever, but like with the song specifically, I think like in a serious note, like yeah, we're joking about like I just joked about it being written for the Joker, but it was written like they scored a movie and that's the song that was produced, and so it goes with the movie, right?
Well,
Specific scene.
And like it being used here, like I get the same beats were used when they were supposed to be, but like the shirt reveal with like the swell of like the Batman song.
But was it okay? Hold on. But was it the Joker theme with the one note going higher and higher, or was it the?
It's part of that same track.
Because those are two. Oh yeah,
It's the same track.
it's a different movement.
Why So Serious? But
Yeah.
it's a different part of it.
Yeah. Because I know that part, to me the high pitched part is the Joker scene.
But it's the I mean it's the heist scene in the
yeah,
beginning.
it's the opening song
Yeah.
for Dark Knight.
And then like the shirt reveal just didn't like it immediately died. Had like any impact that it could have had was immediately taken away by me hearing that same beat used or whatever, that same moment of the song used. And then that just made it feel like it was a cheap
Fan film.
like fan film.
Yeah.
Because they like I mean you didn't have to hire an orchestra. Like you could have
Yeah.
gotten some stock music that was like that would have worked for you or something. I don't know. But to me that's just my like big thing that I'm hung up on. And then aside from that, like I didn't really like the special effects for the
Blood.
violence. Like any of it.
Oh yeah.
I thought all of it
actually-
looked terrible.
Yeah.
Like anything, and it was a little excessive. Like not excessive in a like ooh I'm
It was
I'm
like a
intense.
Tarantino-
It was kind of like camp. It was
Tarantino.
Tarantino camp, like blood gushing
Where it's like someone gets shot
out
with
of
a
places
needle
that
and then
blood
like their
wouldn't
head
gush
blows
out
up.
of, and because it's like that. No, your artery isn't going through that. Like your main vascular
Yeah.
artery or
I think
whatever
the
is
big
not
one is
going
like when
through
he
that
hits
part
a
of your
guy.
leg.
I do
up
want us
his
to remember
head.
this was just it was premiered at San Diego Comic-Con, but it was just a YouTuber's video.
Yeah.
That's the
And
only
I
place.
get that,
Yeah.
and I get that, and it's like, again, huge props to the director for accomplishing what he did, and like getting Thomas Jane and getting like all these like people to do it.
But it doesn't
like,
mean you're not going to identify what you
with
find.
zero context going into it. I just couldn't enjoy it.
The
I didn't think of it as anything like that would be like worthy of a like I wouldn't call it like a film.
Like
Let's
the-
review this film.
the first time
I'm like,
I
oh,
watched
this is just
it,
a YouTube clip to me.
the like bones and excessive blood and everything, I felt the same way. But then when I watched it again, I was like, oh, this feels like comic bookish.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it was excessive to match like that sort of feel. And then I was more okay with it. But that was after a second viewing. The first
Right.
viewing, I had the exact same reaction where I was like, okay,
It's a lot.
that's a little extra.
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if have any of you seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
when he gets his
Barbara
kneecaps
Rodriguez.
blown off.
that sounds awful.
But it's camp.
Yeah.
It's meant to be like kind of funny.
Right.
And so that's it. That's what I reminded of.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I got reminded of. And yeah.
Not
Well,
in a
So
good
just
way,
like it was like a
necessarily.
bunch of like little negative things that just stacked up to me just really not enjoying it.
Yeah.
I would
Aw.
say, I mean, this isn't, I feel like it should be a standalone thing, but then watch Warzone and then tell me if that's too much blood. Because,
I didn't say it's too much blood.
it's excessive.
I didn't not even that. It's that it
I know
looks
what
terrible.
you're talking. I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
It wasn't
okay,
presented in
Just
a
how
way-
how it looks overall.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
because I like it gets me too. Like when there's like if I watch Warzone, I'd be like, oh fuck. Like, have you seen Dexter?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, yeah, that gets you.
Yeah.
You know, but like this,
It's a bathtub of blood.
the bath, yeah, like the freaking entire
Yeah.
blood. But like this didn't get me because I don't think it looked very good.
Got it.
And it's like I get it that it's a low budget thing,
Mhm.
but I couldn't help because you're putting Thomas Jane into it.
Mhm.
So
I
it's
mean,
like
the
this
DNA
is a
just
AAA
shows low budget. Yeah.
you're trying to get me to enjoy it as much as a AAA presentation of something, or at least, without context, that's what I'm getting. And it just didn't happen for me.
Hmm.
I will actually. I will tell you that I agree with the blood thing
Mhm.
because I was watching it today and I was like, wow, that blood really looks terrible. Like it looks like CGI blood, and it's like it probably is.
It
is.
is.
It
100%.
is.
It is
Yeah, it
100%.
is. But it's like, oh, all right. It doesn't bother me that there's
Mhm.
blood. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can kind of see that. I mean, it doesn't take me out of it. It doesn't take away my enjoyment. It's just one of those kind of things like, oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Just making a
Yeah.
note
Just
of it.
writing a note.
Interesting.
But again, if I was in your shoes, Tom, where I was like, this is fucking Batman short,
Yeah.
like I would look past all of that stuff.
And then his
Yeah,
cape
yeah,
is
exactly.
like his cape
Yeah.
is like a blanket.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they don't have the budget.
I'm like, I don't care. Did you hear what Christian Bale said?
But I will say, like, this brings up kind of a fun thought, or what would be, I would love to see if there were things like this with other, like,
One shots.
characters. Like, it's just one shots of, like, their,
Well, the
kinda
Power Ranger
going
one
about
is pretty
their-
great as well.
well, I mean, just like in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
Well,
like,
they
yeah.
tried to, and then when Joss Whedon left, they stopped.
Oh.
I saw the Power Rangers one, and I remember liking that a lot more.
Mhm. Yeah, that one was much later in
It
his,
was much
in
later.
his
They had
career.
he had the 32 million people like, oh yeah, I'm going to support you. Make other
Yeah.
shit.
This
Yeah.
one, he got lucky that Tom Jane loved the role and just decided to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was no budget for Tom Jane.
I mean, another thing about if we're going to talk like low budget, Thomas Jane really isn't like a major
A-lister.
actor. Like, he's not an
No.
A-lister. So
So
it's
he's
like,
probably B-lister.
I loved his role in Arrested Development, though.
no, I love Thomas Jane. Back
Yeah,
to front. Anything that I've seen him in, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm so glad he's in this.
Yeah.
But he's not like
Right.
an A-list actor that it's like, he's probably like, oh, sure, I'll do that.
He's not like, oh, they got Josh Brolin.
And,
Yeah.
and Tom
For
Jane,
that Thanos one-off.
and Tom Jane, if you're listening, we would love you on the show.
Oh my
Love it.
gosh. I love Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So
and Ron Perlman.
Come hang out.
to button mine up,
Yes.
and then we could because I feel like I've gone talking about
About the same topic.
about the same
We're
exact
all
thing.
talking about the same topic.
In a
Stay woke.
watching a movie that I didn't care about the premise of, if I were to be saved by anything, it would be by impressive visuals and impressive, like interesting music or interesting acting or shots or whatever. And this didn't have that to kind of like give me
I'm-
like, okay, well, I can at least appreciate this for X, Y, and Z.
I hate to label you because I don't believe in labels, but I'm going to label you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say you were the absolute wrong person to watch this
Absolutely,
show.
Yeah.
100%.
If I were going to
100%.
label
I do
you,
not give a shit about Punisher, and it's like everything about this is anti-Ollie.
You couldn't. I'm, again,
Well, and
yeah.
out of the three things you just listed, only one of them was fulfilled, where the some of the shots were interesting.
Right.
Like, and so if the visuals weren't what you wanted and the
thought acting
music
was good.
actively annoyed you because it wasn't,
What'd
it
you
was
say,
for-
Corey?
I thought the acting was good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm not gonna go
Actually,
anymore.
Whoa, Caitlin, go.
Okay. The blood
Quam.
stuff bothered me. And also, and this might be something that you guys can answer, but I was kind of confused as to why he was okay with letting that prostitute get raped and also let the kid get beat up to that point.
So I think that brings up a good discussion point because I remember watching it a long time ago and then like thinking about it, and it is kind of like he lets all that shit happen, and then it's finally until it's a boiling point. It's not a matter of like how heinous is it. It's just how long does it take for
Him
to
keeping
crack?
down what causes him to be the Punisher can only go so far. And it's like, okay, rape, that's filling it up. Now
Pretty far.
they're
like-
beating up a little
Well,
kid.
I also feel like it's kind of like they're interchangeable. Of like if it was beating up the kid first or having the rape later, like it wouldn't have changed. It was a matter of like over a time frame because
He's trying not to.
it was
be
a
the
point
Punisher,
of like
kind
he can't
Yeah.
ignore it. Like it's just in front of him. Like if it was away from him, like there's crime happening all around us all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like if we're just not in eyesight of it, then who cares? Right? That's kind of like that mentality. But it's right in front of him. It's right outside of him doing laundry. And some douchebag's like, "What the fuck you doing here?" He's like, "I'm doing my fucking laundry," and goes out of there. And then he has this one talk with the vet, who he's a vet. And so it's like, fine. It's like, all right, you know what?
That was a tiny,
here.
like, just overfill. Like talking to a vet
It was
who
just the-
he is
yeah.
a vet, and it's like, fuck.
You leave one
I
war to
gotta
come
go
back
do
to another
something.
war.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, two to this
Three.
shit.
Oh yeah, he did say
Three.
that.
Three
Yeah.
tours.
3 tours. And so I think it's that point. It was more of like, how long could he stand watching idly and then finally taking action? And when he takes action, he takes all
Because he doesn't mess around when he does.
So that's, I think, that point. Because
I mean, especially if it picks up after the first film where he's like not trying to do it anymore. He's not trying to bring anyone in. He's trying to keep everyone out of his bubble of trouble.
but he doesn't
Bubble
make
of
that
trouble.
he doesn't
I
make
think
that
that's-
creed though.
I think that's him trying to be like, I'm not gonna get involved. I can't save everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I need to do my like, and then eventually
do
he's
my
just
laundry.
like, well, yeah. I mean, he has to have a life, right? So eventually he's just got to be like, all right, fuck it. I can't sit by anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, in a weird way that kind of connects to like, I feel like Skyfall,
Mhm.
James Bond movie, where like the movie, it's like, so you're telling me this movie, he didn't save anybody. And that's kind of what happened in Skyfall. He didn't save shit. Like
Spoilers.
everything just fell apart. But in this one's like everyone got hurt until he finally decided to do something. And then finally like one person who still has the will to do something did something.
Mm-hmm.
So it is an interesting conversation point of like how the Punisher deals with certain things. Like Batman, fucking as Bruce Wayne, he would go out and like do something.
Immediately. Yeah.
Like, but Punisher, again, he's more hardened and stuff like that. It's different. It's just a very different kind of person.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like he would have reached boiling point faster if the kid happened first. Because in my mind, watching this, like the prostitute being raped by that dude and then robbing them, I can, from the very little amount of information I know about the Punisher, it quotes makes sense to me just because she's already immersed in that like
World.
crime world of drugs and whatever.
Whereas this innocent child.
He also, you have to remember that also, he started seeing that happen, and then they went off somewhere else where he couldn't see it, and
Right.
he's in his own laundromat. But now this
We as
kid
the
thing,
audience know it.
this
but
kid thing is
Yeah.
outside the window that he's sitting next to,
Right.
and he's being forced to watch it as well. So like Tom said, I think the first half of that is like he sees it happening, and he's like, no, fuck no, I'm not. Out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
then they're like, oh, by the way, now we're gonna kill this kid in front of a window. Hope
Yeah.
you enjoy. And he doesn't enjoy.
Yeah. And I just think it's one of those things where I just can't fully wrap my head with the mentality, and maybe I just don't understand the Punisher enough. So that's still a qualm with me. Even though I understand everything you just said, I'm still like,
No, I mean, this just means you don't like the Punisher as a character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I don't appreciate
Yeah.
like Iron Man as a character sometimes.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
Like, comparatively to Doctor Strange, like
Or Cap.
in comic book wise, like Iron Man's character is the most flawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah,
know.
Ollie, I said that right.
That's fine. I agree.
What I feel like I had, that would be the thing that bothered me the first watching, the second watching, and even now it's still the thing that bothered me the most. So I'll just leave that as my qualm.
Corey.
Alright. I don't have a whole bunch. the biggest thing for me is something that I understand why it's in there. So it's less of a qualm. I think I would have liked to see it be done. I don't think the rape was necessary,
Yeah.
but I get why it's there because the ending's so extreme, right? So if it was just but if it was like a beating or something like that, I still think you could have told the story as well.
It's a little
But
slap on the wrist.
I don't think that
Yeah.
the ending, her character arc ending would have hit home as hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to draw a parallel to.
I agree in both ways in that I don't think it needed to happen. And also that, like, yes, it made it more powerful that she lights him on fire.
Yeah, the payoff is
Well, I
exponentially greater.
I want to draw a parallel to Alan Moore's Killing Joke.
Mhm.
Right, with there's spoilers. There it's inferred that Joker rapes Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
But then they
Oh.
never explicitly say it.
Oh.
And so like it's kind of like, you son of a bitch, what the fuck did you do? So you have half the people who are like, he did it, and then everybody's like, they didn't say, so please, God, no, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it depends on where they want to do it, but this one's explicitly like, this happened. He is unforgivable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you beat her, it's like,
Yeah.
I think they also could have maybe in that situation even just shown less of him like throwing her behind the pillar that they zoom out to eventually
Yeah.
and him following her in and then hearing screams. Like I think that's all we could have seen to get the point across.
Yeah. It was
But
it was a
again,
lot.
having said that, I get why it's in there. I get it.
But some people want that grit.
Ugh.
Yeah, because well, not because even the grit though, but just because of that
Yeah.
the payoff at the end, like seeing her light him on fire. You're like, fuck yeah,
do it.
fucking light him on fire.
The comeuppance was good, but yeah, I really could have done. Like,
Right.
you can say less and say much more.
Yeah, and that's literally my only qualm.
Yeah.
So with that, now Josh's favorite part,
We rate.
Yeah,
our childhood.
radar
Yeah.
childhood.
Okay, so you had how many on who? We had a
I
lot.
had one, Ali had two, Josh had one, and Corey had one.
So it's going to be me first because I
Yeah.
have none. So obviously I'm not going to be the grump because no
You
has
don't.
inclination of it.
Yeah.
So for me again, I look at it as a short film, and so like a lot of the qualms I might have, I weigh it less on something that has like a $10,000 budget.
Right.
I'm probably going to give this a 3.8.
Wow.
Mhm.
I think if it had their own music, I think if the shots were a little different and gave me a little bit longer, I would have been like, put this at the end of a special features, please.
We all saw that happen here.
At Nerd
Okay.
On.
Add
he did.
nerd on.
Mine's also 3.8,
3.8.
nudging towards a 3.9.
3.9. Yeah, I'm close to that point.
Josh?
In Josh's world, it'd be 3.85.
You've done it too.
9.
You've done it too.
There'd be a
8,
much
8, 6, 7,
larger.
5, 3,
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
But yeah, again, if they had maybe stylistically chosen that one scene a little differently, and like you said, added their own music to it, which didn't necessarily. I mean, I know it affected Ellie a lot. Didn't necessarily take me out of it because I understand. I get why they used it, as opposed to hiring someone or just getting something that's,
A
what's the word
composer
I'm
that
looking
can.
for? No, just kind of like a royalty-free
Yeah.
Oh,
thing.
music.
Because if it fits, it fits. But I wish they had gotten their own. So
Yeah.
3.9.
Fuck 3.9. I mean, for this, I would probably scale it differently. My scale for this would have less points in it, so it'd probably be a 4.
Oh.
Yeah, a 4.
Good job.
There
Ali?
you go.
I think Kaylin.
I want to hear Ali's.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay, Ellie.
1.
There you go.
1.
I knew that was.
Out of 10? I'm kidding.
0.5.
Fine.
No, 1. Yeah.
Kaylin.
3.2.
3.2. Whoa.
Wow.
Runner up. Caitlin.
Yep.
Runner up Grump.
But it's not about you. It's about Ali. He is that grump.
The lowest star
I
rating
was
we've had.
right.
Here's my belt of the grump hood. Here you can have it.
We do need like a crown or something,
I want a WWE belt.
or like a dirty coffee cup or
that's to
something.
carry
I
it
don't
for the
know.
week.
Yeah.
It just has an angry face on it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So, I mean, I think that rounds it out. I hope we could do more short films.
Yeah.
Maybe one that you want to watch, Ollie, that you won't shred to pieces.
That'd be great.
Or we could
Okay,
watch
that'd be great if we
Ali's
could make
and
that
shred
happen.
his to pieces.
No, that's terrible. God, I would not wish that upon anybody.
Anybody.
No, I wouldn't
Anybody.
either.
Because I went to school with that
shout out
chick.
to Tom Jane.
Yeah. Tom Jane, Ron Perlman,
Yep. Be on our
Yeah.
show.
and Hans Zimmer
Yeah.
for Ollie.
Shout out to Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
And the Bootleg Universe.
And the lady who got to set that guy on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the lighter.
And the lighter.
And Jack
Shout out
Daniels.
to the lighter.
I do want to say one last thing though. I just remembered I do relate to Ollie with the music thing a lot because there's this one loop, this Apple loop.
Oh, dun dun
That-
dun dun.
It's a strings
Dun,
Apple
dun,
loop.
dun, dun,
Yeah, and it
dun.
goes dun 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 dun.
And it's used a lot.
Dun, dun, dun.
Josh, when we were catching you using that shit on a fucking trailer, you're out of
so
Nerd
they
On.
use it in the Creed trailer, the original Creed trailer.
Everyone at home, Josh had the
And all of a
biggest frown.
sudden the sound goes out and it's just that loop that I used in 7th grade for every song I made. And I go, no! This trailer's no longer cool. But it is. It's fine. But I get where you're coming from because music can really affect you. It's the same reason it's qualm I had with Star Wars and its lack of solo and its lack of inspiring music.
Yeah.
So
And one of the things that I really like about short films in general, especially this one because it did all the things that I like about short films, is just all the little touches. Like
Yeah.
you they don't have to lay out the whole story and put it in front of you like tutorials with video games.
They
being
don't
like,
have the
go here,
time.
go here,
Yeah.
go
they don't have
here.
the time for the exposition.
Yeah, they don't have time for any of that. So they just show it all to you very
Yeah.
quickly and you have to like
What
make your
I
own
always say
inferences.
about like feature length films, it should be like an essay. It should have like a here's this and here's that, here's the body, and at the very end this is what happened.
Mm.
But with short films, it should feel very much like a tease, just like a 2 log line
like
tease.
you wish there was more.
Like, oh, you fucking tease, give me some more, baby. You fucking asshole, give me that cupcake, you son of a bitch. It's like that's how it should feel like. It's like it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's like Dave Chappelle, like, you know, with the cocaine all over his mouth. He's just like, yeah, but some more of them short films, babe. That's how they should be. And that's
I do always feel that way with I spend way too much time. I'll binge animated shorts and short films for hours and just be
Yeah.
like, man, is there anything
It's
even
easy.
remotely close to this?
Yeah.
I mean, as we live now in 2018, like YouTubers have built a world and a business around making short films. For
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit.
Maybe we'll do the Power Ranger one next. Maybe that's what we'll do.
I'm down with
In
that.
the
Yeah.
future.
Mhm.
Yes.
Audience at home, if you have short films, we are always. I mean,
Send them.
we have some in our minds of what we'd like to do, but send us your favorites. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Ones
love that.
Ones that
Have the Dark
sparked
Knight
a nerd on.
Have
Thing.
original music.
Made the pants a little tighter.
Ones that had the Dark Knight theme, please.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Only
Ones that-
ones.
I'm gonna get a flurry of random short films that are edited to specifically have.
Oh
that
my God.
music.
Wait, no. Also,
You're gonna
send,
get opposite Rick rolls.
send Ali like AMVs with Dark Knight music.
You're like Rick roll is gonna start and then it's
I'm
just
gonna-
gonna be why
gonna-
so serious underneath it.
I'm gonna
Know
read
the music with the video. Of
yeah, no, absolutely.
If you send me an AMV with like Outlaw Star, I'll probably watch it.
I'm gonna
Oh, yeah.
Dark Knight
re-edit
music.
all of our
That's fair.
IRLs with just that theme song.
Yeah.
I hate y'all.
I'm gonna find out how to get PAs to just have that as their theme.
Yeah.
That'll be that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love you, Ollie.
So, if you guys like what you heard here today, you can go to our website, nerdon.tv.
Mm-hmm.
You can check out more. If you really like what you hear, you can become a patron.
And if you
And-
didn't, you can send it to your enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they will like it.
Maybe mayhaps.
For mayhaps.
But whatever you do, please just slip and slide in those DMs
Slip and slide right on in there.
all the time. Rate, actually. We like
Review
to
us on
hear
iTunes,
what
subscribe.
you think.
Yeah.
We should.
Tell your friends.
It's been fun, guys.
It's been real fun.
I feel complete.
Do you feel complete?
I feel complete.
Why?
As always.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Are you?
Well,
You
Yeah.
didn't see it coming a
How
mile
did you not see that
away.
one coming?
No,
he forgot about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. He was doing his laundry and then he just forgot
He
that
was
that
doing
existed.
a lot. That's what it was.
Half of this episode was me talking about Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And he waited until the end.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, as always.
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.